Hello YouTube, Komodo Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Scrap Mechanic. Today's episode is going to be something different than what we normally do. I've been doing a lot of traditional vehicles as of recent, and I feel like we're going to go outside of the box here. I'm going to do like a zombie apocalypse, like, I don't know, like an RV or something. Something really cool, something that's got a lot of armor on it, something that's, I don't know, maybe has some sort of weapon systems on it. I'm not 100% sure. I know a couple things that I want to do, and probably the first thing I should address is the whole fact that we crossed 5,000 subs, and that's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys. I'll do a channel update here in a couple days, and we'll discuss. We're going to try to do something special, maybe a different video for the 5,000 subs. Some people have come up with some suggestions, and I'm going to look over my options of what I want to do for that. So anyways, thank you guys, and I figured, like, let's do something cool in Scrap Mechanic, and this is one of the first things that popped in my head. So I'm starting out with the base here. I'm going to use the, we're going to call it the GSP. If you watched my last episode, I had a viewer send in two trophy trucks, and he had this really unique suspension on there, and I'm going to put it to the test. I'm going to try it on something that is probably going to be huge. I'm really curious, like, how much weight it can truly take. If you didn't see the video, it's probably, the link's in the description, and it's a suspension that doesn't use the actual suspension parts in the game. It's all run by motors. The bearings are connected, and all this pipe work. Now, what I'm doing back here, I'm using he had like a newer vehicle or newer truck, and I'm kind of copying it in the back, and then the front's going to be a more traditional style setup as far as the suspension. I'm just really curious, like, how well does this hold up? Because I'm gonna have a lot of stuff on here. I have a feeling this is going to turn out really big. So there might be a lot of trial and error here. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing right now, and this is one of the first times I'm kind of going in blind on a build, so bear with me, and we'll go over some things here. I'm trying to think of how I need to do. I think I don't know. I've had to pause a couple times. I went back and looked at the other build just to kind of get a clue as to what he's really doing, and I think I have it figured out here. This is the front end of the vehicle. Now what I'm doing, I'm using all these little pipe pieces, and I use these things all the time. I use them normally, like on my other vehicles, I would use these, and then I would place like the suspension parts under them, whether it be like a single suspension, or sometimes I would do that 3 suspension design. But I'm going to try to imitate his design. It's probably not going to be exactly like his, because this is going to be a bigger vehicle. But I think it's going to hold up. Now, I'm curious, like, do I need to... I'm curious if I want to power it with the electric motor. Electric motors in the game have more torque to them, and I think it would, like, on his vehicle, he had to power up the gas motors all the way, and I don't know if, like, I haven't tried adjusting that to see if we'd get a different result. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do there. I'm probably going to place the 4 gas motors in the back, and I'll show you where I'm going to hook them up. They're going to be hooked in those middle 2 bearings, and those will power the suspension. It'll raise up, and it should make it to where it'll flex. But let me see. I actually took a picture of his truck suspension on my phone, so I'm going back and forth and looking at it. Let's make this front bumper come out, and we'll connect off of that. What am I think okay, that's what it is. All right, I was trying to figure out what was supporting that, and what he's doing, I'm going to put these bars, and they're going to wrap over the top of these parts here. That way, when these power up, they'll actually hold into place. I think this will work. We're close to testing this. Okay, as far as the back here, I've been adjusting. I've had to go back to his videos a lot, so I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to cut this video. The back part here, what I'm thinking, I'm not going to have as much travel as his vehicle had. I'm going to have it maybe about a block or 2 of travel. And when I say a block or 2, as far as like how up and down this back suspension is going to be able to move. I'm afraid, like, it's going to look good now, but then once I put all the weight on it, it's just going to set down all the way. And that's where the true test with this suspension comes in. So I'm going to keep rambling on about suspension pieces because it's like one of my favorite things in the game. And this is going to be probably one of my bigger tests, especially doing something that I'm not used to. I think using this block actually looks better. He had something like this on his. And I think actually most of this is going to be covered. You probably won't be able to see any of this. Oh, okay, well that actually worked. Yep, there's the bearings there and the bearings in the front. I think with this test, see, this is working too well. Like, you can see the back end, it's traveling. Everything seems good. Question is it too good? Like, this works really, I don't, now I'm a little concerned. Like, everything's traveling nice now, but once I start stacking this concrete up, I've got several things I've got to put in. I'm going to move these seats. I don't like them where they are. I'm going to be using a lot of those iron, or I call them iron. There's like these big pieces, these steel pieces that are going to be strapped all over to the side of this. I don't know if this is going to work or how feasible this is. I'm going to reevaluate here. Let's see. Those will look good. I think, okay, I'm trying to figure out. I keep saying zombie apocalypse, and I don't know if this is a really good plan to have the gas tanks on the back, but oh well. I think it looks good. It looks cool. I'm still trying to figure out, like I said, with the covering of the wheels, I wanted to cover the wheel wells with these iron pieces, and this is where my concern is, because there's going to be a lot of weight, because I want to put this all up and down it, so that's a concern. Alright, we're seeing the travel here. Everything seems to be working. The backs, the front end just naturally sets up higher than the back end, but I have a feeling the front end's going to wind up having more weight in the end. I'm going to put some sort of, like on trains, they have those, I think they're called like cattle guards or something. I'm going to have something similar to that, at least I think I'm going to, for the front, because like I said, if you're plowing through a bunch of crap, zombies, whatever you're plowing through, you need something like that in the front. I'm trying to think, I want to find a unique way to kind of hide these motors, or, I don't know, like I said, I'm not even sure if I'm going to use these motors. I better leave it open right now, and build around it, and then once we get down to it, we'll see exactly how much weight, and if I need to switch, because I still think that electric motor might be a better deal, but I don't know. I'm debating. I'm being really indecisive today, because, like I said, I'm not going, like, I don't have any pictures. The only pictures I'm using were his suspension pictures, but I don't have any pictures of what I'm actually doing here. Like, I looked at a bunch of RVs, and they all look boring, so, and I want to kind of make this unique, so, I don't know, what if we stacked all this up on the side? It looks cool, but something still looks like it's missing, and I'm not quite sure. I guess I better just actually build the body first, and then really start to evaluate what I want on here. I don't necessarily want like a big turret or anything on here. I want just like a survival RV. Maybe some defenses. This thing needs to set low. I'm thinking there's something really cool on the suspension when I'm going to hook it up to a button, so when you press the button and turn those motors off, the vehicle should settle down, and I want to have it where it's so close to the ground that way when it settles down, it sets on the ground, because I can picture you being like in a position where you need to settle down, hunker down, and just like protect yourself, so hopefully that works. I just got to figure out how low these pieces need to be. I'm not 100% sure there. How come I always end up like making the grills like this? I can't, it's such a habit. What we're doing on the front end, I finally decided to go ahead and go with the radiator pieces here. I think they need protection, so maybe we should stick this up here. Would that fit? That looks cool. I mean, I don't know, everything looks a little confusing right now. Like, it looks cool, but then again, I think this needs to set lower. Maybe I can take some of this off. I'm really confused by what I want, and I probably shouldn't do it this way, because this is going to take me longer than I really want to spend on this. I don't know. I'm just kind of let my imagination run free here. Does that look good? I don't think it does. Let's try this one. There we go. That looks meaner. I think once we build the concrete up, and I think I'm going to paint this thing black because that's one of the colors that really looks good with the concrete. You can almost tell that, you can't even tell like it's really a concrete block after you paint it black. It just looks normal, so yeah, I think it looks good. See, sleeping cabin. Trying to figure out how many people this is actually made for. I'm gonna go with 2. When I first pictured this in my head, I thought, man, I can make this as big as the off-road school bus. But not knowing the limits of the suspension, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. I'm gonna keep it at a big size, but I'm not gonna go as outrageous as first planned. Now, what I'm thinking, maybe on this series, like, you know, I might do more of these types of vehicles because this is kind of cool, and the more I think about it, the more like different things go through my head that I'm like, well, you know, this would be cool. Like, I almost like want a base. A lot of people ask me to like build like a army base or something, but I think like a post-apocalyptic, you know, fort or something would be actually cool. So I don't know. It's a bad thing when I start playing Scrap Mechanic. I start brainstorming like when I'm supposed to be building, and that can be a really bad thing because, yeah, like I start planning things out, and then some of my builds get like way too ambitious, and like especially for the time I have. So I need to kind of curb my expectations here. Let's finish this vehicle first, and then maybe for future episodes we'll do something else similar to this theme. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see, because I'm kind of digging what we're doing here, and I feel like, you know, we might be on to something. I don't know. We'll see how this vehicle comes out, and then I'll kind of decide what I want to do. Now, as far as that, I think that looks the best for the windows. Those actually look really cool. I'm not sure how much protection. I mean, I guess it would be protection from zombies, but bullets, no. I keep looking. There's tons of holes there, but I don't want to close everything up. Like at first I was like, all right, well, zombie apocalypse, you've got bandits and all that other crap, but I mean, I would have to basically make a box with no holes in it to have it fully protected from like bullets and all that. So I think there's just going to be parts on here that are open. Maybe we can put one of those, kind of like what we have here on the front. Maybe we can put one of those over the window. I want to be able to see out of the thing. I don't want to be completely blind, but I don't know. I'm debating on how I want to do this. I'm so like confused. I mean, good thing is when I set it off the lift, it doesn't fall down, so I know that the suspension is working right now, but we still have a lot of pieces to put on here. I'm still going to put a full roof. I'm going to have 2 escape hatches on the top. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Actually, that piece doesn't. I need something that's going to set even here, so yeah, we can give this a look-see. Did I say look-see? Wow. Okay. That's kind of cool. I like the way that looks. It might leave you a little exposed, but I don't know. I think that'll work. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Heck yeah. Now for the escape hatch, we're going to use, I think we're going to use this. Let's try to position this right. I think I need 2 of these on here. I'm going to put one, I always have to put one above the driver because the whole fact of Scrap Mechanic's stupid way of ejecting and getting stuck in your creations and having to destroy half of it. I can't tell you how many like builders I've watched on YouTube. Like some people do full builds and you'll watch them like build and then they'll get to the last point and they'll get stuck in their creation and I'll watch them get frustrated and have to destroy a lot of it. But yeah, we're going to avoid that. I've learned my lesson. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, you know that's been a thing. But where do I want to place this other controller? I'm trying not to let my mind wander off today. It's a little late right now, and like I'm halfway like thinking about other things, and I'm halfway thinking about this build. Let's see. The only thing I do know, I know I want to get this out by tomorrow, which is Friday. So I've already got some other things planned for Saturday, and then Sunday I think it's when the channel update's going to be. So let's see. Where do I need to go? Okay, the first design for this didn't work. It didn't work at all. So we're going to cut that out. Initially, I'm trying to make it look like a train front end, but I don't like it being in that permanent position. I want something like I can actually raise up and down, so I'm thinking something like spikes. Maybe we'll put the slant part on the front. And speaking of slants, I'm using slants again, aren't I? Ooh, some people aren't going to be happy with that. I've had some people complain about me using the slants mod because apparently, for whatever reason, they can't get it installed in their game, which I have a tutorial on it, and I've had no issues with it, but some people just seem to be confused about it. But yeah, we're using that again, so I'm going to have to apologize for that. Let's hook these up to a controller here. What I'm thinking, we'll have this just set. That should be the permanent, well, not the permanent position. That should be the position when the button's engaged, and then I'll reverse it. They should just fold right up against the front of the vehicle here. Let's paint these. I've been good about painting everything that I build, so I shouldn't have to go over too much here at the end. Man, this thing's actually looking pretty cool. I need to find some ramps here for the sides, though. I think I'm going to have a ramp on each side, so we'll do that here in a second. Oh no. No. Oh, I'm stuck in the build. I think I was complaining about this earlier. And now I'm stuck in my own build. Jeez. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I only had to delete one part there. Okay. Boys and girls, do not do that. That's absolutely painful. I can't believe I still do that sometimes, but let's see, where's that part at? Oh yeah, what I was going to get at, I need to find out what type of ramps I want to use for the side of the vehicle. And I think I can use that, I think it's like the staircase, the actual steps. I'm going to stack them up here on each side, and I think those will work. Let's see, is all that still hooked up? I'm trying to think. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the front here. I'm thinking, okay, they're already setting down, so they need to go, we'll put them, each of them at 90 here, and that should fold all the front up. All those little front spikes should fold up after this. I don't know, like, what other sort of defenses. I think besides just the whole vehicle laying down, and, oh, wrong way, gotta reverse the bearings here. But I think this is going to be its main defense as far as, like, groups of zombies, if you need to drive through them. You just lay those down and drive right on. I mean, this vehicle is massive anyways. It should plow through anything. Hopefully it drives well. It's my only concern. Alright, which one? That one. I see I need to... You know, I really wish you can put, like, some sort of custom signs or something. Because I'm gonna confuse myself about those buttons. I thought about hooking up all the top hatch buttons to the cockpit, but I think I'm going to leave the one towards the back here. Okay, there's a ramp, it folds. But the other button back there is going to work on the roof hatch, so let's see. I even thought about, I don't know, I'm debating on putting the button, like attaching it to the cockpit for the ramps, but I just don't think, like I'd rather have it on the side, that way if somebody else is in the vehicle, they can go in and open it up. I don't like mapping everything just to the cockpit itself, so I think we're going to leave that where it is. Let's paint this black, and I need to find a piece to put on the top of this ramp, so maybe the slant. Which one do I want to use? Let's go ahead and finish that. I didn't measure that right. I didn't want to make the ramp huge, so I had to add a bit of wall here, but oh, let me fill in that spot. There we go. Let's see. Let's place that. That'll work. That ramp looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and paint this top part black and move on to the next thing. Wow, that actually looks really good. Now, my only concern is this thing going to drive? I've tested this thing a couple times as we've gone through the build, and everything seems to be working well. You can see the front end is really low right now, but the engine's not on for these suspension parts. I wound up, I'm going to wind up using the electric motor. It just seems to have more power to it. But yeah, you can see up here, I've got, like, I don't even know how to explain this thing, to be honest with you. Besides, you know, the best thing I can think of is these front two bearings. And let me grab the connection tool here. The front two bearings are being powered by the electric motor back there. It's twisting the suspension pieces up, and the electric motor is also controlling these two bearings in the back, and that's going to keep the back suspension stable. The back suspension is a little bit different. I almost did the front and the back the same, but I wanted to keep that look that he had on those trucks. But you can see there's that gap in the pipe there. That's how much the suspension's going to be allowed to travel. I could delete one of those pipes and let it travel more, but I don't think this thing needs to. I think it would bottom out too much. Because, yeah, you can already see the front end's laying down, but the back end, I don't want it bottoming out too. Let's see. Here's the inside. Let's go ahead and show this off. I got a little living quarters in here. I've got the got a sink, got some supplies. I got a couple ducts in here. Here's the cockpit. Got a radio for, I don't know, communicating with other survivors. Quite a few buttons. It's not completely fancy on the inside. I didn't want to add too much. Here's how you get to the electric motor. Let me go ahead and show that. Got it set up to full power. You need a lot of power to lift this suspension, but here's the ramps. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way this looks. I'm going to kind of show you, see if I can pop out the top. Now you're probably asking what that grass is on top. I'm going to explain that. I can't really see it from here. There we go. That's just like a survival, little mobile farm. You can grow your own vegetables or something. I don't know. It's something like that. Alright, I had to fix one thing. I noticed something. One of the tires was laying like at an angle, and I noticed that I needed to hook a controller up, and I hooked it up to a couple more bearings, and it corrected it. But other than that, everything looks good. It seems to be driving well. It turns good. I wouldn't say it turns the greatest, but I'm going to say, considering like how big this thing is and how much metal is setting on it, that for it to be turning the way it is, it's actually doing a really good job. Suspension seems to be holding up. I've got it powered up right now. It doesn't have much clearance on the front, but it has enough that it turns. It doesn't bottom out. Now, it looks close. Let's go ahead and take these down. These don't go all the way to the ground. I was afraid of like making these go any lower, especially if you were to hit a bump or something, or like a hill. I was afraid it was going to like snag in and just stop you, but man, I'm really happy with the vehicle. It looks cool. It looks like just some sort of like rugged survival RV. It's got a lot of pieces on it. I'll tell you that. That's a lot of weight. All those extra pieces, and that's going to bug me. Let me fix this real quick. But yeah, these pieces, like what I'm laying here, I mean, these are heavy, heavy pieces. So that suspension is really good. I don't get any frame rate drops either, which is really amazing with this thing. I kind of figured, like, if I were to do this the way that I was going to, say if I were to build this the old way that I was doing, this thing would probably be lagging like crazy. Just due to all the suspension pieces. I probably would have used the 3-piece on each of them, but kind of glad we got away from that. Let's go look at the top of it here. I've got some supplies on top. Like I said, that little garden thing, I don't know, it's just something cool. Maybe you can, I don't know, farm your own supplies. I just added a bunch of crap to this thing, but I'm happy with this. This might continue to be a theme. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see. Like I said, I am thankful that this is all working out right now. I am thankful for my 5,000 subs. I kind of wanted to think outside of the box for this build. Just do something different. I'm really happy with what I have, even though it looks like a big... I mean, it kind of looks like an RV. It looks like a very scary RV, but that's kind of what this is. Maybe we'll do something more with this. I've got a couple other things planned, some projects going in Scrap Mechanic. I've got some really big projects, but it's just finding the time and finding the way to like make a lot of these work is the issue. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to like the video and subscribe, we've got videos coming out almost every day. I can't guarantee a video every day. Mondays have typically been the day when I can't upload, but I don't know. It'll get better here in the coming months once I become less busy with my real job and find more time to upload. I've got a couple cool things, projects. Like I said, everything's going really good. We'll save that for a channel update here in the future. But anyways, this is going to be available to download. I hope you guys enjoy it. Play around with it. If you got any design changes you want to do, just let me know. I'd like some feedback on this thing. I'd like some feedback for new vehicles, maybe for this apocalypse theme. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.